Welcome back, Blade fans. This old sword's with you once again. Glad you could make it. Well, no, that's not the knife we're reviewing today, but I figured we would start here. This is the accelerator made by Artisan, and it is a Mike Snowdy design. Very interesting knife. This is the higher end of a more budgety knife without such rich materials. This has the Frag handle out of titanium. It has a blade of S90V, and it has this, I'm going to call it a keyhole opener, which I've found to be very convenient. It's a good style opener, a little better than a hole opener because you've got the ability to engage it along a little bit of a latitude there. It's got the brass sort of pivot surround. It's a good looking knife, and it's a big knife. Well, let's put that there and bring out the latest entry by the Artisan Company under the CJRB moniker. And this guy is the Frag. I guess that's because it's got the Frag handle. And it's a toned down Frag. It's not as aggressive, nearly as deep as the accelerator. And it's a button lock. And it's got a very cool blade shape, and it's almost the size of the accelerator. And it's also an S90V. Let's take a look at them side by side. This is a little lighter weight version, but look, same length. Same length. And I would say it's a bit thinner even in the handle, than the accelerator. Doesn't have that fancy hidden pin, doesn't have the brass backspacer, etc. A little different style clip. No, pretty close, pretty close. There's Snowdy's dollar sign. S for Snowdy, but making money, hopefully. Way different blade shape. I don't want to get too into the comparison. We'll get into that later with some other knives as well. I'm almost liking this blade shape better because it places the point on line for pokey stuff. And it is a button lock, and we're going to take a look at how that button lock functions. We're going to take the accelerator out of the way, which is a heavier knife, and again, a little deeper milling to create this Frag pattern. Both fairly grippy knives. This a little less so, but by no means slick. I think probably it, chews up your hand and your pocket a little less than the accelerator. Here we have the lanyard hole rather than the lanyard pin. And beautiful action. I mean, just gravity knife, if you will. Look at that. And it's got the same sort of opening hole, that teardrop, and just snaps right out beautifully. Middle finger flick, absolutely no problem. Want to roll it out? Absolutely no problem. Because we've got a fairly light detent. Look at that. So it's got a detent. It definitely is grabbed right there on the way in. Engagement and, no movement whatsoever. No movement. And what sort of a plunge lock have we got on this particular button lock? When does it disengage? Fairly soon. My advice on button locks is if you're going to do anything violent with it, fill in the violence event yourself on that. If you're going to use it for self-defense and you grip it the wrong way, you could fold it on your fingies. But we've got a very large and relatively shallow, I feel it works very well, finger choil there. All right, so if I'm holding it this way and that gets disengaged, my finger here is going to keep it, hopefully, from closing. So if you're doing some heavy work with it, might be best to choke up. We'll look at some other button locks in a moment, but I think it's probably time to bring out the tape measure and see what we've got here. As I said, same dimensions as the accelerator, just a shade under 9 inches with a blade where it's supposed to be 3.9, and I'll call it that. And we've got only about a 3.4 cutting edge because of the large finger choil. We don't have a finger choil on the Snody. Okay, so blade stock in millimeters, not too thick, 3 millimeters. And in inches, that works out to be 0.11, as I assumed, and a very slender handle, 0.42. Just for compare, the handle on the Snody, if I can get this all lined up here, is 0.47. So half an inch. No, yeah, half. What am I talking about? 0.05 difference. Let's weigh it up. Wrong knife. Let's weigh this guy up. I'm getting distracted. Shouldn't do that. Turn the scale on. See what we got. Hello to you too. In ounces, hopefully. 3.45 ounces. Ding, 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 ding. We've got under that ounce per inch measurement. We've got a blade that's 3.9 inches. Got a weight coming in at 3.54. There you go. A light knife that is big. The jimping, it's effective. It's slightly rounded. Got 3 major cuts in there. And it does give you some grip. It's not the grippiest I've felt, but it's by no means ineffective. And how about compare to some other button locks? I've got several Kaisers. We've got the Brat, which is one of my favorite button locks as far as smoothness goes. And by the way, in terms of like button stick and so forth, just the slightest hint on this Frag, or Frack rather, little bit of stick, just at the beginning. Probably going to break in. Don't go crazy by lubing it up and so forth. Sometimes that gums up the works. You can see, however, that the Frack is a longer knife, considerably, with a longer blade by around half an inch or so than the Brat. Here's another very favorite recent addition to the Kaiser line. That's the Mad Tonto. And the Mad Tonto, designed by Damn Designs, Adrian D'Souza. Coming in about an inch or more short overall, with a blade about 3/4 of an inch shorter. So beautiful knife. Also has an ample finger choil, which I like. Really nicely ground Tonto. And let's see, the original in my collection, I think, button lock is the this Kaiser Beglighter XL. Almost forgot the name. In brown micarta, you can see sort of some of it's darkening down, some of it isn't. Don't carry it a whole lot, but they're very close in length overall. I'd say about identical. And I think we got, yeah, you know, if you're measuring it from the farthest forward point, got about another 3.9 inch blade. I think it may be coming in closer to 4 inches. Don't want to be too picky about this, but it's about the same. It's at 3.9. And they do try to keep it under that 4-inch magic mark in case, like in my state, we have to carry under 4 sharpened inches in any folding knife. That's pretty generous considering the laws in some states. This button lock's very smooth, as smooth as any. And this was a White Mountain special edition. Well, how about next to a regular old, I don't have my Griptilian nearby. Took that on vacay or in the car for vacation. This one is the Ontario Rat 1, and it's coming in a little shorter than the Frack. Overall length, around a 1/2 inch, a little bit less than 1/2 inch shorter, with a blade about a 1/2 inch or better shorter, somewhere in there. It's about a 3 3/4 inch knife. The Ontario Rat 1. The what was it that I wanted to talk about besides the button lock? Well, it does have a switchable clip. I may not have mentioned that. The clip is not deep carry, but it's got a pretty good ramp in and out of the pocket. Can't bring my pocket up on stage at the moment, but I'm slipping it in and out of the pocket on the left side because I got something else on the right side. Let's take a look at that something else. This is the MSI Microtech. How does that size up? So if you've got an MSI is going to be a little bigger by 1/2 inch overall. It is a full 4-inch blade. Yep. This has been working out well as my daily carry. I like it. Even though, there are lots of reports out there and demonstrations of how you can whack the blade with a log and it closes and so forth. Haven't found a need for it to have that ability. I don't hard whack the back of my blades when I'm using them somehow. Maybe I'm not using them right. Okay, so a light knife, well over the ounce per inch or under it, however you want to determine that. Got a pretty glossy sort of a blade. S90V, they're saying it's 59 to 61. Yes, you and I both wish they'd start saying 61, 62, 63, because we know S90V is capable of that, as is M390 and MagnaCut and so forth. So it's kind of too bad that it isn't a bit harder so we can maintain that edge a little better. I know what I wanted to talk about. It is a hollow grind, near as I can tell. It is a very shallow hollow grind. See if I can show you that edge. I don't know if there is a way to show it. Maybe, can I show it this way? Yeah. Well, hopefully you can see that we got a hollow going on there. Not a drastic hollow, a very gradual one. And a high grind. So, do we have any paper in the house? Any paper in the house? Oh, yeah. Well, I said the point's online, so it's got a pretty piercy point. Pretty piercy point. Say that 10 times. And we're going to find out the edge didn't feel too aggressive to me. It's kind of sliding on my finger. So this, by the way, this knife just came in today, so I haven't had a whole lot of time with it. Oh! I find if you cut on the straight edge of the paper, I think I could use a little stropping. Okay, so Artisan / CJRB, you might want to provide us with a little sharper knife out of the box. I've certainly had sharper ones. Is it dull? Will it cut flesh, meat? Most likely. Paper's a whole different story. It does come with a nice CJRB cloth. And at $199 for titanium and S90V, I don't think it's too bad a deal. But CJRB started out as Artisan's budget line, so why is it up there with the price of Artisan knives? Don't know. But it certainly meets the qualifications with the materials involved, and workmanship, action, everything seems really nice. Well, let me know what you think, and don't forget to give this video a like, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Could use a few more of you guys watching me, and you will be notified when new videos drop. Be well, take care, catch you soon.